Okay. Do you walk around telling everybody you're fine and maybe you're not, or maybe you're just not even in touch with the things that are happening deep inside, those emotions, those feelings, your reactions to the things that are taking place in your life? You want to be sure to listen to today's episode because we are going to dive in to what fine really means and how to break away from it. Welcome to True Wellness with Dr. D, the podcast where we explore what it takes to live with vitality, balance, and purpose. I am Dr. D, and each week I'll bring you powerful tools, inspiring stories, and expert insights to help you thrive in every area of your life. From health and wellness to mindset and navigating life's challenges, this podcast is your guide to creating a life of true well-being. Be sure to check the show notes and grab your free copy of the True Wellness Checklist so you can get started on your journey to true wellness right away. Now, let's get started. All right, ladies. Most women aren't actually falling apart. I say they're more falling out of coherence. You know, they're disconnected from their body, from their energy, from their inner voice. And today I am talking with two extraordinary women who have made this and their lives sharing about this truth. They've studied it, they've built it, they have an entire movement around it. So I welcome Yvette and Gio from YG Collaborations. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. So guys, these women, they transform the lives of visionary women and leaders by really helping them to master the most important relationship. And that's the relationship that we have with ourselves. And through their coaching and their book, which they're going to share all about with us, they have immersive experiences. They're really empowering women to uncover, like, what's your true hidden potential? What's been going on underneath there that it's time to get out into the world, right? Help shift all of those limiting beliefs and really step fully into their power. So that is what we're covering today. Ladies, I'm excited to have you here because, I mean, what better a topic than to talk about and figure out how we're getting through things, right? Like, how are we going to live the life that we really enjoy instead of sitting around and always being burnt out, exhausted, or fine, right?
Yeah. You just said the magic unmagic word is fine.
Yes, I did on purpose. So, I mean, let's talk about the fine epidemic because I think that's a really good place to start. I know I have a friend, and he asked me one time. He said, "How are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm fine." And he said, "Oh, okay, I get it. You're fine. You're effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. Is that right?"
I love that.
Yep. I was like, oh, that really puts it into perspective, right? But I like what you said. That fine is probably one of the most dangerous words in a woman's vocabulary, especially when what's happening underneath is, you know, maybe the woman says that she's fine, but clearly she's falling apart at the seams. So talk to me about that.
100%. Okay, first of all, I love your intro because you said truth and wellness. Those go together. We're definitely truth talkers. We're so raw, so like, you know, you get to a point in your life where I'll just say for myself, I'm tired of being what everybody else wants me to be. And I'm going to be unapologetically me. And so when that word fine is thrown out, which sometimes it kind of slips a little bit, it's a cue that almost goes, no, you're not. You're not fine. And we are conditioned as women from little people. Look, we're told, you bump your knee, you fall down, you're fine. You're fine. Get back up. You can't, there's no emotion. You can't even like for 2 seconds go, but I'm really not fine. It hurt. No, it's not. Get up again. Right. Yes. Over and over and over. And we go through stages of life where people are telling us we're all fine. Or we live it. This is so sad to me. We live in a world that we don't have the freedom to say that we're not okay, because then we feel shame and embarrassment, or someone's going to judge us. It's not a safe space. And what if someone knew someone knew I really wasn't fun.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that's the world we live in, and it's really sad.
It is, and I think it's, it's pervasively happening. We lead a retreat with our community every year, and I just came back from our retreat yesterday, and it's so true. As women, we're just taught to bury it, and when we come to that space, like, oh my gosh, like, what is the impact of this burial, literally, right? What's the impact of this burial on our well-being? It's huge, and it impacts every area of our lives.
Yes, especially physically. And I definitely believe, I don't know what your audience thinks, but we internalize things. It causes stress, which we know is one of the number one things that we as women struggle with. And then that festers. And then that manifests itself in a chronic illness, a mindset that we now have been adapted to.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a world, things come in. What are we doing with the information, the stresses, and then what comes out? I mean, it's almost that basic, but when those stresses do come, or we just keep piling them over the years of this has happened to me, then that happened to me, it just keeps shrinking us down. We
Mm-hmm.
fall into the victim mentalities, or we just can no longer see clearly because we've just lived years of not being able to see clearly. And this is the hardest thing we see with our clients. No one's doing that intentionally. You don't
Right.
you don't walk around saying, "Oh, I started saying I'm fine and I started doing it intentionally because I just wanted to mask everything." What usually happens is you just have those feelings and you go, "I don't really want to say. I'm kind of embarrassed." And then the next time you're like, "Oh, it's just easier for me to say." We just get conditioned to saying it.
Yeah, absolutely. It becomes a safe space, even though it's really not, right? That's the illusion. The illusion is that it's safe, but it's almost like it becomes a safe space to just like bury it, just like push it down. Don't say anything because what's everybody else going to think? Or, oh my gosh, do I really have time to go through this and process this? You know?
Yeah. So true. Or if I say something, I mean, because let's just be real. We love our best friends, we love our family, but they're not equipped to actually handle if, and I call it word vomit. If you're going to word vomit on someone, then that's when someone goes, "Oh, sorry, I asked how you were doing." I mean, which in some regard is real,
Yes.
but
Yes, yes.
our friends and our family are not equipped to understand, to relate, or to give unbiased advice or help to really get to the meat of what's really happening with us, because
Right.
there's other judgments and thoughts and, "Oh girl, this happened and our family is, and don't worry," like then it's like that's not help. That is seriously not help.
The whole list of stuff. Or the other thing that I think shows up, and we had talked about it at our event this weekend, is that I think people get uncomfortable with people who are going through discomfort, right? So you try to like pat them on the shoulder or rub the back or give them a hug or give them tissues or distract the conversation or whatever, rather than allowing them to feel and let those emotions, bubble and eventually, ideally come out.
Yeah. And feelings are real.
Yeah.
We're not robots,
Hmm.
not chat GPT yet, and we're not
God willing, we never are, right? God willing, we never are.
Well, I think the other thing too, we depending on what generation you're in, we're two different ones, but the younger generation has taught us too that, I mean, mental health since 2020, since COVID, has really taken a whole new meaning. And so for us as coaches, it's a tool and a resource, but that's also, there's more people out there that are going to be able to help you. And I think we're also conditioned as women to not seek help, or I'm
Yes.
too old to get help, or
Mhm.
and I think that's really where it's the mastery of self. It's like you come first. So what's the outlet? Is it a community that's meant for that? Is it a therapist or a counselor? Is it a coach? And taking the time to find that that aligns with you and your season in life. And I think that's also really hard for women to do because we were never really taught that. But the younger generation is now teaching us that that's really part of living.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to emphasize something that you said, because I find that a lot of times women don't even put themselves on the list right? They're not on the list of people to take care of. It's everybody else. It's your kids, it's your spouse, it's your boss, it's your parents, it's your, it's your family members. It's all of these other things before we get to the point. And I'm so guilty of it myself, right? I got to take care of my clients, got to take care of the kids, got to take care of my husband. Oh, wait a second. Like maybe I really need to go get a dental cleaning at some point in time, right? But we do that pervasively.
Well, and it's funny because we teach that. We teach you how to put yourself on the list and the why.
Yes.
We say it and we put it on these beautiful slides, and people are like, oh, yeah, that makes so much sense. But they still don't go do it. Or sometimes they just don't know where to start because it just becomes like, well, where's the time? Well, let's find it. And then where do I even begin? And it's also the environment and the people that you're around. And we explain that too. We have kids, we have partners. It's like, if we're not okay at the core or we haven't filled our cups, how are we going to serve you or everybody else on the list? Which again, we were not taught, but this next generation coming in is like, okay, we got to make some changes because this is not working. And we're living longer now. So in order for us to live a longer, healthier life, mentally, physically, emotionally, we have to be able to have those tools and resources. We can't do it by ourselves. That never worked, and it's not going to work going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really goes to identity, because if you think about it, it hasn't really been until like recent years that women have been able to have their own self-identity of who am I? That question of, because a role or a title comes with that. We were trying to change it, but who am I? I'm a mom. Who am I? I'm an entrepreneur. No, who are you? So we don't take the time to understand that. So part of the work that we do is really working with our clients to rediscover, in a sense, of who are you, so that when you do start making those choices now, it's more aligned to who the real woman inside is. And this is kind of a fun test for your listeners. If you ask yourself, seriously, we know our favorite color, that would be easy. We know names, all that. But if you ask someone, if you had the opportunity to go by yourself, where would you go to dinner? What kind of food would you order all the way for? If you had a day, 24 hours completely dedicated to yourself, your spouse was around, your best friend, no kids, no, what would you do with your time?
Right.
That very easy question is like, this is most women. Oh, why? I don't know. Maybe I'd go clean my house. Why are you going to go clean your house? Because I need to have a pretty, like our why is so centered back to the people that we're serving. It's not serving us. Now, someone might be like, I'm a clean person, like really clean. Then that's serving themselves. But most of us revert back to, well, if I had time, then I'd finally finish the thing that I told so-and-so that I would do for them. No. What would you do for you?
Yes.
That question is hard.
Yeah. I want all of our listeners to answer that question, right? If you had nothing else to do, what would you do for you? And I think that that's so important, because I feel like for most women, and this is, in my experience with our community, it is, like you said, it's about everybody else. And they're like, for me, wait, what? Who am I? I forgot what I like. Don't I just like what like everybody else likes? And it's powerful. It is a powerful question to stop and answer for yourself.
Yeah. And when it's what would you do for yourself? Yes, I would go get my nails done. You could say something like that. But something that extra added onto that, something that's going to bring value to me and my inner person. That's not necessarily, because if someone said, I'd be like, oh my gosh, can I just go take a long nap? Which I guess that would be a value for myself. But going to get my nails done or something like that is not necessarily, that's going to help me on the outside. But the question really is, what could you be doing for yourself that's going to really bring value to who you are as a person, help you grow, maybe change a thought, or give you the time and space to really think about who you are and what you want?
Yeah, I love that. I mean, let's build on that a little bit, because I think that, and you talk about the truths that women need to see about themselves, but let's say a woman gets the point in her life where she's like, oh my gosh, I just can't keep living like this, right?
You
What
said that.
Yeah, yeah. What is that first truth that she has to face about herself?
I mean, I really think, and I'll speak for myself, but for a lot of our clients, is the time. Like looking at time and how much time has passed and the what you no longer want to have in your life or do in your life, because
Yeah.
we can list those things. It's a lot easier for our clients to go, I no longer want this, I no longer want to do this, and I no longer want to feel like this. That list is easy. That's how kind of we get started. What they can't do is, I would love more of this, I need this, this is my goal, this is my, we don't know that, but we do have the very long list of what we help set boundaries, right? And then it all goes back to kind of self, time, and money, which is why we coach in that area.
Mm,
Gotta pause and reflect and take the time to figure out what it is that you no longer want in your life and what's not serving you. And it's okay to do that. Like, that's even hard within itself. But I promise you, the list gets long when you're like, again, serving, going, being, doing, waking up, waking up and not doing the first thing for yourself, or going to sleep being the last thing for yourself. Just
yeah.
pausing, all those little things of like, enjoying your own life. So for me, it was time. Like, what am I doing with my time, and what am I no longer what do I no longer want to do anymore? Like, what I don't want to feel this way. What are those feelings that you don't want to feel, and what's attached to that? And let's rework it.
Mm. You said two powerful words. You said time and money. Let's explore those a little bit. So, talk to me about how, I mean, when you work with your clients, how are you working with those two big green ugly monsters, right? Time and money. Let's start with time.
Go for
Okay.
it.
Well, I think it's again, it's like we say it and it's simple, but it took a long time.
Absolutely.
We don't take time to look at what we're doing. And I tell people, like, let's just audit your day. Go a whole week and audit a Sunday through Saturday, and you would be surprised at where your time is. And then also look at how much time you're on your phone. Just those two things, that two exercise, it will go, wow, like I have 24 hours in a day. So, and then we really do a full years of calendar planning, because people don't realize that it's also seasons. Sometimes we're working really hard in our business or in our job, or the kids are out of school. It's really looking at the big picture, even though it's like nobody comes to that and goes, I cannot wait to see what my whole year looks like. But it's the realization, because I do have a great relationship with time. This is where I'm putting my time and energy. I'm doing this audit, and you think you're doing all these things, but really you're not. And then your phone.
Mm-hmm.
We go through I don't have time. I go, if you can just take an hour off of your phone time, you would be amazed.
Oh, yeah.
And then we teach the 555 method, which is 15 minutes of your day in 3 a.m., midday, p.m. And that's only 1% of your day to give back to yourself. Like, if you can't do anything else, if you can do 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes of pausing midday, whatever midday is for you, and the last 5 minutes before you go to bed is yours, that's 1% of your day. So are you even worth, like, what are you worth? And most people will say way more than 1%. So I'll take that for the time, but you can definitely do the money.
I think money is really a mindset of why we choose and make the decisions that we do.
Mm-hmm.
I can do this because, or I can't do this, or money is the controlling factor. And we're not insensitive. We understand that, it's not about, oh, well, if you only have $100 in your bank account, we're asking you to go spend 200. It's not that. It's more are you really going to take a hard look at that $100 and ask yourself, what am I doing with it? What have I done with the other money? And what am I willing and not willing to make as a priority? Because when it all comes down to it, we're all making choices. And those choices are based on our why. Why am I doing this? Why did I just spend something I shouldn't have? Was I trying to fill a void in my being at the moment? Was just self gratification? Was I wanting, to have that Amazon high and the endorphins go off because I clicked this and I know that package is coming in 24 hours? Or am I willing to say, this is a priority. I do want to take responsibility for my money or my mindset. And so I'm going to make this choice because I know I can see the future of how this is going to benefit me.
Yeah.
But again, that goes back to, you have to take the time and be willing and take responsibility for your actions, where you're really at. And that's kind of where the truth comes in, because a lot of people, again, when we go to our friends or family, they're not going to, and if they do tell you the truth, it's not going to be in a very nice way, but having a coach, a therapist, someone who can really help you map some of that out, understand, dig a little bit, and help you get to the realization of where you're really at. Because sometimes we wear blinders and we don't even know that there's that blinder that we can't even see. And it takes someone to go, let me show you some patterns. This is what you just said. So we can go, I had no idea. Like,
Yeah.
most people have no idea because we don't take the time to really hone in on what's going on with us.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When you say the relationship or the wife, it's like you're looking at two women who are batting their heads against the wall over and over for different reasons, but saying, why am I just spinning in circles? And yes, this is really the definition of insanity, that I'm wanting different results, but I'm doing the same thing over and over.
Yes. Good old Einstein, right?
Hold on.
Good old Einstein. He said it perfectly. So, how do you what do you believe is important for people to get out of that circle where they're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? How do you break that trap?
Well, I would say I think it's part of what I just said. Getting to the point, let's just put it this way. Unfortunately, most people, something tragic happens. It's like they have a life experience that just hits them in the face, and then they go, oh my gosh, I need to change this. I was that person. It takes, I think, a very aware person most of the time to go, I see this already. I just don't really know where to go to seek the help.
Yeah.
A lot of it is that initial responsibility and or awareness factor of, okay, I've got to stop the spinning and the cycle. But unfortunately, it is all of a sudden there's no money in your bank account, or you get super, super sick because you're working, 50 hours and you've got all these things and you're volunteering here and doing the thing. And then you get the flu and you didn't even get to enjoy Christmas and everybody in your family's mad at you. And you're like, oh my gosh, something has to change. Right. But I will say it is hard when you're doing that spinning to just stop it within yourself. And that's again where I really, if there's anything that people are going to listen to, it doesn't have to be Gio and I, go seek professional help. They're professionals for a reason, and there's no embarrassment in it. There's no shame in it. If anything, you're honoring yourself and you're saying, I value myself enough to just try.
Yeah, it's so important that, you know, I always say the worst place that we can be is in our head all the time, right? The longer we stay there and we're there by ourselves, it's like this crazy spiraling vortex of all the patterns and conversations and the negative habits and all that, like you said before, that pile of gunk. It's all right there. And so it's so important, like you said, to kind of to bring that out, to be present, to have the little fly on the wall, to without judgment, right? Without judgment, without the history, just kind of like reflect it back so that you can now see. I always say it's like the stuff that's if I'm waving my hand behind my head, I have no idea it's there, so I can't do anything about it. But the minute I can bring it to the forefront, it's like, oh, look at that. There's my hand. Okay, fingers, calm down, right? So you've got to be able to bring it to the forefront that you can see it and then actually make that change.
Right. And then have a game plan. Because I would, again, for myself, I'll just say, I came to a lot of those you go through stages of life where I'll just say, I went through a divorce. That was a stage.
Yes.
I did everything possibly I could do to get better or change, but I went right back into the same patterns. So because I didn't have a game plan. I didn't have, okay, you recognize this in yourself, but you really don't know what to do with it. And then what are the next steps? And is anybody really holding you accountable to that? Can you even hold yourself accountable? And no, obviously, because I just kept spinning. And it was those mindsets or the things that Yvette was telling Yvette that just kept me in this spot, even though I would do a little bit better and then kind of come back, do a little bit better. So there's moments where you can say, no, I was progressing, but the real, true transformation or change, or where I didn't have those mental thoughts anymore, or that I felt like, wow, I'm really victorious in this part of my life, or I'm not ashamed to talk about whatever, that kind of change. I think happens over time. But again, you have to work at it, and it's consistency, and it's having a game plan, and it's knowing, it's like a map or a destination. You know, when you get in your car, you have the GPS that tells you you're going to go through all these stops and it'll take you 35 minutes to get to wherever you're going to be, right? Or, hey, there's an accident ahead, maybe detour and go around the other way. That's what professional help should do for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Talk to me, ladies, about your book. Walk us through a little bit more about your book, right? It's called What is Happening with My Life Right Now. How did that come about? What can our audience members learn by reading that book? Walk us through.
I'll say how it came about real quick, and then Gio can go off from there. Because the title is, when Gio and I first met, one of the things I noticed right away, because she's got a great humorous side to her, but anyway, it was always like crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh my gosh, what's happening with my life right now? It was like always like the queen when, even if it was a great thing, what is happening? What is happening with my life right now? So when I thought about writing this book and what we were really trying to say, I thought, at the core is, we ask ourselves all still now, or at that time, what is really happening with my life right now? And I didn't always have the answer. And I know that a lot of people out there don't have the answer to what is happening and what do I do with this and what do I do next?
And I think for us as coaches, it's really hard for us to go meet a woman who is ready for coaching, because coaching is such a broad term in general. And even though we coach women in the trifecta, which is the relationship with self, time, and money, like once that is, which you really never master, but you grow in it, then everything else, like the business and your spouse and your kids and your community, that's a ripple effect of you. So what we created was a tool, a very simple tool on why, like the why this is happening to you. You're not alone. I think something we didn't talk about earlier is like, we're all thinking this, we're all feeling this, we're all saying the blanket statement with that we're fine. And it's a small chapters, it's guided, it's really helping you pause and go, wow, this is the why. And now either I need to seek help, but do I need it as a therapist or a counselor? Do I need to see a coach? Do I need to go see a nutritionist? Do I need to go see a doctor? Because everybody's in a different season, but something is happening to them that they're asking these questions, but maybe seeing a therapist is too scary. Maybe hiring a coach is not the right time, or the investment seems so high because they don't understand the why. And yes, they listen to a podcast, and yes, they can read a book, but this is more of a self-guided, this is what's happening. And trust me, you're gonna roll your eyes and every time, and you're gonna be like, oh my, everybody that's read, it's like, you're talking to me, because we're all going through it, but we're not talking about it. Yes. So if you have to go back and read it or do a chapter a week, it doesn't matter. It's because it's a tool for you to give yourself the gift of time and really getting to know why you're feeling that way.
Yeah. And it's written it's a conversation. So it was really written as if Gio and I were sitting across from someone and we're just like talking, and they're like, yeah, oh my gosh. So it's not heavy. It doesn't come at you with scientific terms. It's more like you're just like, wow, okay, how about this? Your best friend, who actually knows what she's talking about, is talking to you. And then maybe she asks you couple questions. I don't think any of the chapters are more than 9 pages. So it's not going to be time consuming. It's enough to give you the, oh my God, but not too much. We go a little bit overwhelming and too much. It's just really a great conversation. And then the other thing is, I think we live in a world where the information highway, there's a lot on the internet, and not everything on the internet is accurate. And the reason people have marketing is because they're asking you or making you feel like you have to buy something. And so a lot of people were getting into like, oh, I bought this program, or I did this thing, or I went to this one seminar and it promised me I was going to have this thing, or promised me I was going to, love myself within 2 hours of being in the ceremony. It's like, that's not how it works, right? And that instant gratification of, I just want to be changed right now, right? So it's soft enough and quick enough that you'll get something, but then it's also going to make you go, or I should say it's like a gentle, okay, I can handle this. And now this is inspiring me because now I want more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. We do live in this day of quick, go Google it or chat GPT it, and let's fix everything we can in a single moment. And it just doesn't work that way, right? I love what you said before. We don't master these things. Like we never reach the pinnacle, but we transform them. They change. We can evolve more. We can, peel the next layer of the onion and see what's the next thing to start to look at underneath. And I mean, quite frankly, I think that's one of the beautiful parts of life, right? There is no specific end, so to speak. There's always another level of discovery that takes you closer to yourself, to your dreams, to your hopes, to what it is that you are creating, right? To that authenticity that is us.
Yeah. A really great example is, as we get older as women, and we go through all the wonderful stages of hormones and premenopause, menopause, all of it. You may go to a functional medicine person, you may go to a doctor's, they help you with your hormones. Maybe your body, you're not having as many hot flashes, or maybe you kind of feel more regulated.
Mm-hmm.
But internally you feel like, but I just feel like I'm not myself. And not because you're physically not feeling yourself. You're going through transitions and stages at that point where you're like, well, my kids need me and they don't need me. My husband's doing this and he's not doing this. I'm doing this and that. So I'm kind of in this weird space of like, what is happening? And why am I feeling these things here in my mind? Not the fog where it's like, I didn't want to get out of bed kind of thing. It's more like, it's not connecting and I don't really know, what am I supposed to do next?
Yeah.
That's really where, and really we go through those transitions. Kind of imagine the college students right now, right? They graduate, they have their degree, maybe they didn't get the job they wanted in their field, or maybe they can't even find a job right now. And they're like, why is this happening? And what's my next phase? And how do I navigate? Because I really don't feel right up here. And I'm not really understanding why. That's who the book is for.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Talk to me a little bit about, when a woman comes to you and she's in this space where she doesn't even know where to begin to understand who she is and what she wants because she spent so much of her life just kind of disconnected from that. Where do you begin with her?
It's the hardest. I feel like it's the hardest part for us is the beginning because they don't know. Back to the exercise of what do you no longer want to feel and what do you no longer want to do and what no longer serves you. And then they also have a lot of questions on the season they're in. And most of our clients, I would say, it's like that pre-empty nesting stage. It's like that my kids are leaving or my husband's retiring or I'm leaving my corporate job or I just started a business. So it's like the season of, so we really create a roadmap with them that's always changing and evolving. And we ask a lot of questions. And then it really does help. And sometimes we go 6, 7, 8 months and they still don't know what the ultimate goal is, but they get clarity. We start teaching them setting boundaries, which is extremely hard. Like they don't even know what that is. And it is a lot of baby steps. And then really understanding too, back to you have to put yourself first. And what does that even mean and look like for that woman in that season? So there's a lot of asking questions. And there's okay, now we know the bucket of what we don't want. So what does that opposite look like? And we start writing that out, right? So if it's like, I no longer want to be tired, well, what's the sleep look like, right? And sometimes it's building the team. Like it is, you may need a therapist too, or you may need to go see a nutritionist and a doctor, because most of the time we're malnourished all around. It's not just the mind. And so we really start to build, just like an athlete, they have multiple people on their team. They have multiple coaches. It's the same thing. So we take the time. We don't rush it. There's not an overnight, like in 2 months, you're going to figure it all out. And we have tools that we use with them that they're constantly growing and evolving. And then we're here to listen. And I think that really just helps them establish their next season of life.
You need to kind of wrap it up like this. Each one of us have a voice. We are born with a voice. Whether we've used it or not, we have it. And we've either been taught to quiet it, to shrink it, to not be who that voice is. And then we have all these years that we kind of put that voice in the closet. And we're conditioned to just do all the things that the society has, which I'm not saying are bad. It's just that that's just the way that it is. So really it's helping them not even rediscover, allow that voice to be heard first and foremost from themselves. Because kind of like when people go, oh my God, I hate my voice when I do karaoke, or I hate my voice on whatever. We don't hear it. We're not doing that. So even just the simple task of pausing and being quiet, and the 5-5-5 method that she was talking about, to actually hear yourself. Because we have the internet, social media, partners, people, work, bosses, everybody else is telling us what our voice is, but we're not taking the time to actually listen to what is happening inside.
Yeah, it's so true. It's it's that self-abandonment, right? We literally like abandon ourselves.
Yeah, at the cost and the sake for what?
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is such a cliche, but if you bring it all back to like because we all know that one day we'll pass this world and we'll go somewhere else, that people have written books and have said over and over and over at the end of their life, the things that they remember are not necessarily the materialistic, oh, I achieved this, I did these things. It's the value of other people, relationships, what they learned within themselves, their experiences, and how they feel. And the reverse is when you think about people that have passed that meant something to us, that brought value, we don't think of, oh, like, Grandpa so-and-so, he was such a this guy. No, it was, how did you feel when you were around them? And it's kind of like we're doing that for ourselves. We're bringing yourself back to, well, then who are you? What is the legacy you're leaving behind? What is, when Yvette dies, what are people going to remember about her?
Mm-hmm.
And what do I think about myself? Because that's really what I'm building to shine for the people that know who I am.
Yeah. Really, really powerful.
We just got really melancholy for
we're all thinking about that moment, that final moment. We did a final moment exercise in our retreat this weekend, but it's deep. It's a really important realization to come to, right? It's not something that we always think about, because we always think that time is going to go on forever and ever and ever. And so if we just do one more thing, if we just wash one more pot, or we just go to one more event, or we just, suppress that emotion one more time, we'll get to the other end, except that we just keep pushing that can down the road until it gets to that point where you're like, oh crap, like time is gone.
Yeah.
It's crazy, because like, if you die tomorrow, did you live a life that you love? Not that everybody else did. And I think, again, that's a question that most people are like, well, no, not really. When you talk to older people, they go, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would. Again, it's not the paycheck. It's not how much money you made. It's really like, I fulfilled the life I wanted. And in return, it fulfills others. Like we have not yet done ourselves or coached a client that it wasn't the ripple effect of everything else, and the changes that you start to see in the closest people. And if that's your partner, your kids, your business, it all comes to fruition. It goes in that direction. So, but it takes time. And that's where people, they're like, they want to know, well, how long and how much? And everyone's journey is different. And again, it doesn't stop. You don't go, okay, I mastered it, I'm done. No, it's always evolving. And I think that's hard for people to realize. But same thing, go back to the athlete. The athlete's they're always going to have coaches. They're never going to be the MVP and like, I don't need a coach anymore. No, you have to have the trainer, the coach, the nutritionist. Like, so why don't we treat ourselves like that, so we can have really the best game that we can?
And there's such a disconnect. I really believe that, because we live in our world where it's like, what are your achievements? What are your accolades? How much money do you make every year? What car do you drive? Where do you live in the city? Like all those things that like we think bring the value of truly who you are, which I get it. Like, who doesn't like nice things, right? Who doesn't want to take trips and do that? But at the core of who you are, the disconnect is you may be seeking and spending all your time doing something, creating a world that really inside you're screaming for, I just want to be heard. I just want to be loved. I just want someone to hug me. I just want someone to feel like I'm a valued person that they want to be around. And I think about it. Someone who just left this planet, who let's just say is I'll say my age group in their 50s, maybe they spent 50 hours a week doing all the things, had the house, had the car, had the this, had all the friends. Their Instagram looked like $1,000,000, but they're no longer around to even enjoy the real value of life. And it's not for us to dictate to anybody what that value is. All we're here to do is help make sure that you live that valued life for yourself, whatever it may be. But most people, I think, when they really get to the core of, it's nice to not, oh, I'm not stressing about this or my, whatever about materialistic things. But I think truly inside all of us is just really to be seen, heard, and loved and valued for who we are as the person. Almost like if we could all just take off our makeup, if we could all just be natural who we are, you can't compare all the things. You just walk up to someone and go, oh, you're who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Just who you are as a person, not everything that we see on the outside.
Yeah, or social media, right? How come everybody's life is perfect but mine? I love it. Something comes to mind from what you said too that I think is really important, and that's the community piece. Because I know that you ladies teach that transformation, it doesn't happen alone, right? We're not going to sit there and have these big transformational events in our heads by ourselves. It doesn't work that way. So what does community resolve that actually like self-help by itself never will?
Well, we were definitely not meant to do life on our own. So for us, what we've created in the past really 3 years is just, it's a safe environment where you can show up as your authentic self. We really, really, really try not to talk about the titles and work. It's hard sometimes, but being able to be authentic, to come as you, even if you don't know what's going on with your life, and being with other women who are going through the same thing and can talk about it. And that, I think, has been our biggest achievement. Is we will sit back and just watch women of all cultures, diversity, age, what they've done and they're just sitting there just trying to be their authentic selves. And for our clients who have been with us, they're kind of the mini us going around like, look, like we can create this, we need it, and it just keeps on growing. And obviously the people we don't see, we try to do that online, but it's still the power of being authentic, showing up, not being afraid, talking about you. And I think it's hard to do, but we've created a space where women thrive and love doing it, and they leave going, wow, I'm not alone. I think those words in general is and I've been seen and I've been heard, and they can constantly, they have an outlet. And then understanding too that we all have the professional help that we need, because that's part of the process.
Yeah, I love that. And one of the things that I think is really fascinating about you ladies is you are a collaboration. It's in the name of your business. But we all know for sure, right? Partnerships between women can be very powerful or very messy. So, I mean, what makes your collaboration functional, coherent, long lasting?
Yvette's patience? No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. I think it's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot, but I think our goal and our why are very much aligned. And we're two different seasons of life. But our ultimate goal is to help other women. Like, part of what our legacy and who we are as Geo and Yvette, not YGC, is in alignment with what YGC is. And there are not many people that can say that what they do for work is honestly what they do for their legacy and their life. And we were able to do that, create it.
Yes.
Even when people thought, and people still think we are crazy, like, who are you? But we're co-creating this together with our clients and our community. And we obviously know we are the movement, and we've seen the ripple effect with us, with our clients, and with our children, and with our partners. But really, we have 3 girls between the both of us, and that's really the generation that is going to take what we time and the money that we've spent on doing what we do. We are leaving a legacy behind, and I don't think that that'll ever change, because we plan. We're also really good at planning. Like, really good at, sometimes things don't work, and that's okay. There's not a lot of conflict, but there's challenges, and we get through them together. It is a partnership. It's a marriage, which she's
Yes.
like work-wife life, but we
Yes.
spend most of our time together more than with our family. And if we're going to do that, it better be for a bigger cause.
Absolutely.
And I'll just add, we actually do what we teach. Like, I feel like we do a good job of, we don't hold each other accountable, but it's very much, well, obviously we know what's going on in each other's lives. And I hear in her, she's going through the exercises. She's taking herself through the mental challenges, like the things that we're teaching our clients, we actually do ourselves. I mean, that's kind of how we knew it was like, this is what's working. This is how we've come to where we're at. We're just teaching, and we've added stuff too, but it's like we're teaching the core of who we are and how we've transformed and how we keep doing that. It's not neither one of us take a vacation from working on ourselves. That doesn't happen. Actually, on vacation, I feel like it happens more. Like there's more. I get to write in my journal more, or meditate longer, or whatever. But we actually are doing and living the life that we've created and that we actually coach.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. And yeah, it is that partnership is so important. So tell me, ladies, I always ask, our guests, what are up to 3 practical things that our listeners can take on immediately following this podcast here that can impact their life for the long term? What would those top 1, 2, or 3 things be?
Okay, well, I'm gonna put a shameful plug. Number 1, get our book.
Yes, ma'am.
100%. Because if you're like, it's a holiday gift for yourself.
Yeah.
It's a holiday gift for anybody. It makes a great hostess gift. It's not a huge investment. And read it, challenge it. Let us know what you think. That is, to me, that is 100%.
I'm gonna go with 2 and 3.
Okay.
2, just do an audit. Even if you can't do the whole week, a day where you just write down what you did. And if you did it for a week, great. And then really reflect on what you're doing with your time. And your phone needs to be part of that audit. Like, how much time are you on your phone? And then the last one, which is super easy, even though people don't like to do it, is the 5-by-5 method. If you can go back and listen to it, but it's the first 5 minutes of your day for yourself. And that means no phone, like not getting the kids up. Midday, 5 minutes of pause, and that can just mean be silent. Turn everything off if you're at the office, go for a walk. And then the 5 minutes before, just gratitude for you. The 5-5-5, like that 1% will make a huge difference in your day. So I think those 3 things, and it has to do with time, with your value of yourself and time. And it'll be a moment, not even an aha moment. It'll be like, oh my God, what am I doing with my time?
Yes. I love it. Those are all really, really, really things that will absolutely move the dial. So now just tell our audience a little bit about where they can learn more about you, where they can get your book, all of that stuff. And we are obviously we're going to have it in the show notes. So all of you who are listening, you can go in and click. But in case you don't have access to it, ladies, please share with us.
We're the easiest. We're everywhere we are on everything social media is YG Collaborations with an S at the end. So it'll take you to our website. It'll take you to LinkedIn. It'll take you to YouTube. You'll find us and the links from there. Or you can message us at hello@ygcollaborations.com. Just send us an email and we'll get to you. But we're the only YG collaboration. So you just put it on the search box and you'll find us.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's like Dr. D. There's it's Dr. D, Dr.D.PhD or Dr. D.PhD, or it's different in the different places. So I love that it's a plain, simple, and easy all the way across the board. Well, ladies, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and sharing your journey and for the difference that you are making in the lives of women everywhere, just having them really come back to themselves and giving up the fine conversation.
No more
Out the
fine.
door.
Bye-bye, fine. Yeah, I love that.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. This is Dr. D reminding you to tune into your body, connect with what matters, and embrace the journey to true wellness. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to redefine their health. Be sure to grab a copy of the True Wellness Checklist right in the show notes. Let's keep redefining wellness and empowering change together. See you for the next episode.